Hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome back to The Explainer. You know, it's a big question. How does a message that's believed to be divine actually stand up against something as powerful and as human as doubt? Well, today, we're going to dive right into that. We're going to be looking at a really powerful passage from the Quran that doesn't just give an answer, it actually lays out this fascinating, deliberate process for how faith is tested and how truth is ultimately preserved. So, to really get this, we have to go back in time. Our story starts in Mecca, and the Prophet Muhammad is facing some pretty intense rejection and, well, mockery from his very own tribe, the Quraysh. And this context is so important. These verses aren't just some abstract idea, they are a direct, divine response to a real-world, very human struggle with doubt and hostility. So, how does the response begin? Well, it's not with some complex philosophical argument. Instead, it starts with a simple, incredibly powerful declaration of purpose. This verse really sets the stage. The prophet's job, his mission, is defined right here as being a clear warner. And notice the strategy. The focus is all about clarity and personal responsibility. It's like saying, the message is here, it's clear, but the choice to listen, well, that's entirely up to you. And this was a direct answer to all that mockery going on in Mecca. It was a promise that every single action, no matter how small you think it is, it has real, tangible consequences. I mean, what powerful imagery, right? It's this idea of perfect, precise reward and punishment for every single thing we do. The atom's weight. Just think about that. It suggests a scale of justice so incredibly fine-tuned that literally nothing gets messed. Okay, so let's break this down. The core idea is that absolutely nothing is overlooked, nothing is forgotten. It creates this system of perfect accountability, and it's designed to do two things: to make you think twice before doing wrong, and to encourage even the smallest, most insignificant acts of kindness. All right, now we get to what is, for me, the most fascinating and complex part of this whole passage. How do misunderstandings and doubts even happen in the first place? Now, this is a really interesting admission. The Quran basically frames doubt not as some new problem, but as this universal, timeless challenge that every single divine messenger has had to face throughout all of history. And here's the crucial insight, the big twist. This interference, it isn't a bug in the system. It's a feature. The passage explains that it's deliberately used by God as a test, or a fitna, which is designed specifically to sort out who's sincere and who isn't. And right here, we see the divine strategy laid out in this amazing 5-step process. You see how God ultimately overrules any interference, gets rid of the falsehood, and then masterfully uses the whole situation as a tool for both clarifying the message and testing people's hearts. So what's the point of this whole fitna? Well, it does a few things at once. It's designed to separate people based on what's really in their hearts. It exposes hidden hypocrisy, but at the same time, it makes the faith of those who are sincere even stronger. So what happens after this test? Well, the outcome leads to this really stark, really memorable contrast between two kinds of people, and it's illustrated with a metaphor you won't forget. The contrast here just couldn't be more vivid, could it? One path is about stumbling through life, confused, face down. The other is about walking tall, with the clarity and confidence that comes from genuine guidance. And that visual is meant to stick with you. It's not just about belief versus disbelief, it's about the entire quality of your life and your understanding. One is like stumbling around in the dark, and the other is walking confidently in the light of true knowledge. So, after explaining the trials, their purpose, and the two different paths people can take, the passage wraps up with this ultimate reassurance about the message itself. I mean, this is a definitive, incredibly powerful statement. It's a promise that no matter what trials come, no matter what interference happens, or what humans try to do to corrupt it, the core message of the Quran is divinely protected. It will be preserved. Okay, let's bring this all together. When you look back, we've seen how these verses create a whole narrative. They console a prophet, they warn about perfect justice, they explain the deep wisdom behind these trials of faith, and it all ends with an ultimate promise of preservation. And that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. This passage seems to suggest that real, resilient belief isn't something that's forged when there are no challenges. Instead, it gets solidified in the very process of facing those challenges and overcoming them with knowledge, with understanding, and with a sincere heart.